All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Alchemy Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Cartwright. I am really excited for today's conversation. It's a dear friend of mine who actually, Kenny, I've wanted you on this podcast for a long time, here with OG Vivint, truly OG member of Vivint, Kenny Cox. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, Doug. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You and I are both OG. If you were still there, you're the OG.
Bro, I actually had this conversation with Aaron Doria about if I would have stayed and what my stock would be worth. Oh, yeah. And it makes me throw up. Like, I want to throw up when I
anyone that was there in the early days of stock or, when it was just imaginary.
Yeah, it was a fictional thing.
Yeah, network. And you've done great. You're just fine. I don't feel bad for you. But yeah, the equity would have been great.
It would have been really good.
Been great. But yeah, we grew up. I feel like this feels a little high school reunion.
It does.
To me. You and I have kind of grown up together, it feels like.
Yeah, there was that magic window at Vivint.
Yeah.
It was like, in my head, it's like 2011 to like 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it was just like, there was like this magic in the air, the flow with Todd, Casey, Bo, Jeff, like you and me and some of the OGs, like,
those were for sure the years that we built the company.
Totally.
Yeah. Because I've been there since 2006 was when I onboarded. And yeah, those were the years where the company really got momentum. Mm-hmm. We really grew like crazy. The company traded hands a couple times. And yeah, we're still, now it's 2026. We're still riding the momentum from the years that you were there helping us create it.
So fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm there keeping the lights on, but you helped.
Thank you.
So
thanks for keeping the lights on. So it's crazy. We're turning the corner into another season. We're there. It's like, it's now. Mm-hmm. I think the home opener is in like 2 weeks.
It is.
And then guys are deploying.
That's right. Dude, you're in the loop.
It's crazy.
You're still in it's like you never left.
It's like I've never left.
Yeah.
Well, half of my clients I work with are at Vivint, so I get it, right? And we're turning the what year is this for you? What summer is this for you?
This is my 20th year.
20th year. Yeah, well, what a perfect time to celebrate.
20. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Finish 19, starting 20. And I can honestly say I'm having more fun in the job than I've ever had before, ever. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that. Maybe some of that we'll get into, but there have been moments just like in any career where you wonder how much longer you can do it or decisions are made you don't agree with. But I am extremely happy with where we sit right now as a company and the role that I play in it. And I'm having a ton of fun.
I will say from my perspective, and I do want to get into it, that I can't remember who I was talking to, someone recently within Vivint. And it felt like there was a couple of years ago, Vivint lost its swagger.
We did. Yeah.
And it feels like it's back. Mm-hmm. Like I can feel the energy. I was down at Vivint, I was meeting with Steven Anderson not too long ago. Yep. And I walked in the building. I'm like, oh, there's the energy's back.
You feel it back.
I can feel that Vivint got its swagger back.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. I want to dive into that. But first question I had for you is you're moving into year 20.
Yeah.
Right. If we were to bring Kenny into this room from 20 years ago, what would he not believe about your life today?
So it would be a lot. When I came into the business, I had like this 5-year lens of what I wanted it to be. And 20 years in, it's exceeded my expectations probably 100-fold. So the benefit that I had was, even though I thought small in the beginning, I was able to catch up. I was able to expand my vision and expand what the opportunity meant for me. And then I was able to just stay put. When there were so many others, not pointing fingers, there were so many others that moved on, I didn't.
Well, that's what I want to credit you to, because when we both know a lot of people, like there was kind of the first wave, 2010s, where solar was really cool.
Yes.
And people went and did solar. And we have friends who have left and have created really incredible solar companies.
They've done great.
And done great, right? And you dug your heels into the ground, stayed put, right? Yeah. And now you're reaping all the benefits.
Yeah. And I think I had some failures because I was a little bit older. I was 26 when I came to Vivint, turning 27 that year. But I had some failures early in business. And I don't know that I would say that it scared me. It did at the time. It felt devastating. It felt like rock bottom. But when I found this opportunity and it treated me so well, I just wasn't willing to leave. There's been a couple moments in time where I almost did, or I thought real strongly about it. But then I just reflected on life, the life that I had prior to this and kind of what I went through and what it took for me to get here. And I've just decided to be that guy that dug one hole kind of 100 feet deep versus multiple,
Yeah.
And so, it has totally worked out for me. And there's kind of this saying inside of Vivint. I don't remember who even coined it, but I get credit for it a lot, is that, I think if you want to become wealthy, not just at Vivint, but as long as you're selling a great product with good people that has a good business plan, and you just dig your heels in, I think that's where a lot of wealth is created. And it has certainly worked for me. And at Vivint, I just say, if you want to become wealthy here, just don't leave.
Yeah. I mean, again, we were mentioning, I look back at my equity. I'm like, dang, and I'm grateful for the move I made.
Sure.
But one thing you said too about the great product is I got the new Vivint equipment installed in my new house.
Awesome.
A couple months ago.
How do you like
And
it?
I'm like, this is amazing. This is what I was telling customers 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Do.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, this is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a legit product. I'm thinking if I would have started as a rookie today with this system,
oh yeah,
like sales would have been so much smoother.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, and there's a lot to that too. It's the product has to be there, because you and I both know if you were selling a product that was just on par or just as good or just a little
thermostat's
worse,
blowing in 2012.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We went through that. Yeah. The camera that's like just can't go outdoors.
Getting that phone call at 2 a.m.
Like points out the window. And if it's red, it means it's offline. Yeah. We went through all that, but to be selling, and I think when I say I'm having more fun than I've ever had before, it's because I believe in the product more so now than I ever have. If we were selling the same thing as everybody else and just trying to charge more for it, I actually don't know that I would still be at Vivint. So the beautiful thing about, maybe still being here is that we are still spending millions of dollars every year innovating, trying to deliver a good customer experience. And now you'll like this, but our average customer at Vivint stays on as a customer for 9 years.
Come on.
Yeah, you remember we were trying to keep them on for 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah,
please.
And now, and that's just because their contract lasted that long. And now their contract expires and they're going another 9 years.
Yeah, I have no plans on canceling my Vivint. It's amazing. I'll have it for life.
Oh, same. I have it in 3 different properties that I own, and I won't be without it. Even if I didn't work here and I was paying full price I would be happy to pay it, because I just couldn't function like I do without it.
Yeah. So here's my question, right? So you talk about staying put, building your hole deep, right?
Yeah.
How did you talk yourself and commit to staying when there was so much distraction?
Yeah.
Right. Like what convinced you to stay? Yeah.
And it's a really good question. And that's why I say there's been a couple times where I've almost left. And, when I have kind of gone out, or I've kind of looked on the other side of the fence a couple of times, and I can honestly say when my time at Vivint is done in direct to home, I'll be done with direct to home.
Yeah.
I'll live and die here, and that'll be kind of the end of it for me. But when I start going down the road of looking at other opportunities, what has happened for me, and this isn't always the case for everyone, but it's that the devil that I know is better than the devil I don't. Mm-hmm. I've realized that other opportunities for me during this journey, they all have inherent problems. It's just I know the ones that are wrong here, right? And so it's become this kind of these moments where I was almost to the edge, and then I'm realizing, hey, there's these guys have their same problems over here. These other opportunities, there's things that I'm not even aware of. At least I'm aware of those here, and can I live with them? There's kind of 3 things that have to check the box that I talk about with my people all the time. It's, do I like and trust the people I work with? Do I agree with the direction of the company? And do I believe in the product? And am I fairly compensated? And so when I would get to that point, and it's been years and years and years since I've kind of done this exercise, but it's just like the switch cost is not worth it. Life is all about trades. I'm going to trade this for that. And to me, the trades just were not worth it. And it's like, can I stay and influence the things that I don't agree with? If the answer is yes, then I'm going to do that. And that's what I've done. And I think others have too. And that's why we've been able to get our swagger back as a company. And, the times when it was really hard, it's because we were distracted. Mm-hmm. Like you probably knew, we dabbled in solar for about 5 years.
Yep.
And I did more of that than anybody else at Vivint, not me, but myself and my group.
Hey, your group was one of the top solar performers.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. So we installed, the last 3 years doing it, we installed over 10,000 accounts, as well as we were doing smart home. Well, the proverb of, if you're chasing 2 rabbits, you catch neither, that was what we did. And not just us, but the whole company. So we almost had this identity crisis where the core offering, what made us great, and we were kind of dabbling in these other things. And you've seen it over the years.
Well, I remember the Best Buy thing.
Yeah,
that was it for me. I remember they flew me out to Washington, D.C. They put me in a Best Buy store. Yeah. I was in there for 2 hours. I'm like, what am I doing? Like I would go, give me my binder and I'll go knock the neighborhood across the street.
And enjoy it way more than
sitting in a retail. Like I'm not a retail guy. Yeah.
Well, and you probably remember Sprint. We did like
the cell phones. I remember sold some of those.
Yeah. And so
there were so many issues with it. And
exactly. And so the times that we've done that and solar, I'm including in that, is we just got distracted. You get away from what made you excellent. And you end up having two rabbits and you're catching neither. And so for us to kind of pivot back and say, hey, we're sticking to the core business. Anybody that wants to do that can go elsewhere. It was a real gut punch for my group. But then we went back and we grew 106% last year over year. We lost a handful of people that left us, and the guys that stayed are happier than they've ever been. And, and that's been in the last 24 months. I feel like the Vivint has returned back. You probably knew we grew the business 35% year over year. Well, why? And it's because our people are unrecruitable. Like our top talent, you will never take them away from Vivint for a lot of different reasons. But we also have just focused on what made us great and stopped all the noise and all the distraction with, social media paints this really bright picture of how good everything is for everyone. The problem is what I said before, is that everyone has their inherent problems. And if you can make it work where you're at, I think you're better to just stick to it. That's been my strategy.
Yeah. And the advice I get, because I work with a lot of people in a lot of industries, past solar, Vivint, right?
Right.
And I get this question, I think I'm going to switch companies or switch industries.
Yeah.
And the advice I always go back to is you only leave your company when you absolutely have to.
Right.
What I mean by that is you almost don't want to, but you spiritually feel like you're getting pulled.
Yeah.
It's like this pull of like, oh my gosh, I think I have to leave.
Wow.
But it's when people are searching for it, like trying to search for relief. This is painful. This is too hard. Where can I find relief? Where can I go make more money for less work?
That's right.
Anyone who does that gets burned, and they usually come crawling back. Yeah. I've seen it so many times, right? If people are searching for a sense of relief, they get burned every time. So I would say, whatever, if you're looking at switching, it has to be a spiritual experience. Yeah. If it's not that, you don't move.
Dude, I actually think that's great advice. And I guess you're saying because logic and kind of the spiritual part, because logically sometimes it doesn't, but spiritually, if you're feeling called, that's probably what it would take for me or for somebody. Like it would have to be, I'll give you an example. Tim Yesta. You remember Tim?
GOAT.
A GOAT.
One of the best of all time.
Yeah. So that was actually his thing. He was making crazy money. He was probably
making top earners.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. $1.5 million, $2 million a year, growing 40% every single year. Like on top of the world. Yeah. There made no sense at all for a guy like that to leave other than he felt spiritually called. And now he's Coin Games. Yeah. It's been 4 years. They're launching their first game this year. I'm actually an investor.
So cool.
Yeah. Like the game, awesome. I believe in Tim. But yeah, he's one of those guys that was like spiritually called to go make a splash that was different than the one he made at Vivint. Yeah. But he left a tremendous legacy. His group that he left behind here is the fastest growing group in the company.
I mean, anyone in that region, especially with Neil, they just operate differently.
Oh, it's wild.
It's so impressive.
Going to do 80,000 installs, north of 80,000 installs this year.
That's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
So insane. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you weren't thinking big enough. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. I always like to ask because I know you have so many mentors. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. But talk to us about how do you change one's mindset to start thinking bigger? Yeah. Right. And who has actually influenced you to think bigger?
Yeah. So number one is I think that you have to read a lot of books, right? I grew up in a very, very blue collar household. My dad was a construction worker. My grandfather was my grandfather was actually illiterate. I didn't find out until after he passed away. He couldn't read. And all my uncles worked with my dad, like blue collar, construction. They ended up doing really well for themselves, but it's just because they were the hardest workers around and they ran and owned the company. But I wasn't really surrounded by like entrepreneurs and big thinkers that way. And while some people may not be able to make the physical connection like what you and I have, that doesn't mean that you can't have a virtual connection. I'll never forget the first self-help books that I read were The Richest Man in Babylon and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he's been a virtual mentor of mine forever. And as soon as I read that book, it changed everything for me. And really, that's ultimately what led me to fail in business early on, selling vacuum cleaners, because I was thinking like an entrepreneur and I just needed an opportunity. And that was the first commissioned sales job I'd ever heard of.
Was this Kirby?
It was called the TriStar.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Then, pivoting and coming to Apex at the time, Vivint, I was just looking for the right opportunity, and virtual mentors are the ones that kind of, Robert Kiyosaki again, kind of planted the seed in my head. But then when I arrived here, spending time with people like Bodie Gardner, right? It all started with Bo. He and I today, he's still one of my closest friends. Todd Peterson. And then a couple of years later, it was Jeff Mendez and Casey Baugh. But not just those guys, but all the others that like Eric Mealy's still in the business. He and I work together. And like being around big thinkers and movers and shakers and spending time, even just close proximity and hearing the conversations removed a ton of lids for me. Right. And now kind of the spiritual calling that you talk about, that's what I think one of the reasons I'm having more fun than I ever have is I've entered this season of my life where I've earned enough experiences that now I'm the one that's in the room that's helping guys think different and bigger. And so while I had time to catch up because I was thinking too small in the beginning, I've caught up. And now I still accuse myself of thinking too small. But to me, it's been more and bigger than I ever could have dreamed of. And so now I'm trying to pass the message on that like.
And you're doing it. I work with a lot of people in your region.
Yeah.
And I like to ask people in one-on-ones, okay, who are your current mentors? Who's influencing you? And everyone's like, Kenny Cox has been one of the most influential people in my life. And so you're making a massive impact. And I'm feeling it too. I
appreciate that.
And so it's really cool to see. And so, I love that you talk about virtual mentors because it's kind of a new idea for people who aren't in the personal development space. Mm-hmm. The people who have influenced my life the most, I've never met.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it's Michael Singer. He wrote the book, The Untethered Soul.
Yeah.
And then another spiritual teacher named Ram Dass, who died. He's not even alive anymore.
Wow.
And has had the biggest impact on my life.
That's awesome.
And so just like, I love that you talk about, virtual mentors because most people think that they need to have like this personal connection with someone. It's like, no, like your life can absolutely change.
Oh yeah. Another one. Yeah. Another one for me, I'm sure for you too, is like Tony Robbins.
Totally. Love Tony.
Yeah. So he's coming to Home Opener. You should come.
I need a ticket.
Yeah. I'll get you a ticket.
Yeah. I'm in.
But I've attended one of his conferences.
Which one did you go to?
I went to Business Mastery.
Oh, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah. And one day he kind of loved the pledge that, hey, if I don't give you more value than what your ticket cost you, I'll give you your money back. And at the end of day one, I'm looking at my notes going, there's no way I could ask for my money back from this guy. He's just so dang good.
Yeah, he's a master.
Yeah. But I've read, I think, every single book that he's ever released. And for sure, one of like the biggest influences, not just for me and everybody that's a Tony fan is like total fanboy. But if you get reading his stuff and you see his approach to things, like you will be too. He's an excellent one if people out there are looking for a virtual mentor.
Love Tony. He is a spiritual master.
He really is.
When you really dive into his work, I'm like, oh, this is spirituality.
Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
Plus he has kind of this hard charger mentality. So it's a really nice combo.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of people listening to this podcast are early on in their sales career, or they're maybe early on in leadership.
Got it.
They're kind of managing a team for the first time.
Excellent.
They've got recruits coming out for the first time. Yeah. And it's going to be all industries. It's going to be solar, pest, Vivint, right? The whole thing, right?
Love that. Mm-hmm.
What are the biggest mistakes you see first-time leaders make as they start the sales season?
Yeah, I literally had this conversation. I actually appreciate it. I had a new manager kind of barge into my office at Vivint today and asked me this exact same thing. He's like, hey, I've got 8 guys. I've been here for a couple of years. This is my first time managing a team. I do not know what I'm doing. I'm stressing out. And so I'm warmed up for this one. I think when a lot of people enter the world of leadership, they think that they either get to be a good manager or a good sales rep. And the answer is it's not or, it's and.
Yeah.
You had better be a phenomenal sales rep. In fact, you probably need to sell more than you've ever sold before ever, because nothing inspires the forces more than the leader leading from the front. Leonidas at the front with his shield, kind of, thwarting off the army. That's what people expect. And if you don't do that, they will find a leader that will. They'll leave the company and they'll go find a leader that does lead from the front. And so it's embracing the power of, and this was a David Bywater principle that he taught me. But it's for sure what the top leaders inside of any industry do is that not only are you a phenomenal sales rep, and a great manager. And it starts with influencing through like your actions, right? And the 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, it is required reading. If for anyone that is serious about business, you'd better have that on audiobook and on paperback. And you need to review it at least once a year. Phenomenal. But it starts with somebody wanting to be your friend, and then they allow you to lead them because they basically give you permission to lead them. But you only retain that if you can have influence, meaning that you not only outsell them and inspire them that way, but that you're kind of walking your walk. You're talking, you're not just talking, but you're walking it, and you're helping them learn to do the exact same. And the kid that was in my office today was asking me like, hey, these were his words, right? Like, how do I not be an asshole? Sometimes I feel like I'm an asshole to my reps. I'm like, well, it's because you're like, leadership is influence. And if there's times where you need to be an asshole, you need to do it at the right time, which is in private. Don't ever reprimand someone in public. Don't ever try to belittle anyone.
Such good advice.
Yeah. And a lot of that comes when you're forming those relationships. Like for any of you that are just starting out in leadership, a conversation that needs to happen when somebody commits themselves to working with you is you need to ask for permission to give them open and honest feedback. And it goes both ways. Hey, Doug, you're going to come on board and you and I are going to work together. And I just want to know that I have permission that if I see something is happening that I need to call you out on to help keep you headed towards your goals, that you're okay with me doing that. I'll never do it in public. I'll only do it in private. But do I have your permission to call that out when I see it?
Man, that's so good.
Yeah. And then the same is true for me. If you ever see me out of line, if I'm doing something you feel like is hurting the team or that's not motivating to you, I want for you to call me out in private and let's have that conversation. And I think even just having that permission to be able to call each other out like that, it just starts the whole relationship on the right foot. Because if he's feeling that way, it's because he's trying to be a friend instead of a boss. And you can do both, but in the direct to home world, we walk this fine line of you've got to keep influence so you keep the relationship because it's so relationship based, but you also need to be able to drop the hammer if like in times that it's needed to just keep the entire team on task.
Well, it seems like it also builds trust.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like, hey, we're not here to have fun and whatever. We're like, I'm on your team.
Yeah.
You can trust me. And sometimes we're going to have hard conversations.
Yeah. And part of it for him too, and this is hard for new leaders, is if you're always just managing people and personalities, you're going to hate the job because it's the idea that the same hot water that, softens the carrot boils the egg, like personalities are also different in between people. And so you need to establish, I'm sure you teach on this, just manage a system. And a system is really just a calendar saying, these are the days and times everything is happening. These are the ones that you're expected to attend. And these are the things that you're going to do in between.
So I don't know if you knew this, but I have a keynote. So I go around the country and I speak and whatnot.
Love that.
And in one of my points, I talk about, hey, I was really grateful in my Vivint days. I got to go work with a lot of top leaders. And the number one thing I learned is, and I mentioned your name, I learned this from people like Kenny Cox, is you manage the system,
that's right,
not the emotion.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. And then people will rise or fall to the level of the system. And, it's like a guy like you or me, when really good sales reps are recruited, just show me the system, let me plug in and then just get out of my way.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Where if you're constantly having to sell people on something and talking them into it, and then you're reprimanding them in public, like you're just managing personalities and you'll never really grow beyond a handful of reps that can't wait to get away from you. Right. Yeah. Because they'll just go find someone that does have a system they can just plug into, put their head down and work really, really hard. Yeah.
It's the same concept that when people ask me about recruiting, I say, your job is to provide so much value to that person that they can't not work with you.
Yeah.
And you never want to convince them. Right. And we don't convince, we just provide value.
That's right.
Right. So in your office, it's like, I'm not going to try and convince this rep to change his behavior. I'm going to try and convince him to change his ways. I'm just going to give him so much value that he'll want to follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. So it's just the special time. And so I want to do a quick role play with you.
You bet. I love role plays.
Yeah. So here's the role play. So let's say I'm one of your reps in your office.
Yeah.
And we're 2 weeks into summer and I have 0.
Yeah.
I haven't sold yet. And I'm going to go home.
Okay.
So I'll call you up. Hey, Kenny, I just been thinking about the last couple of weeks and I just realized this job just isn't for me.
Yeah.
And so I decided I think I'm going to go home.
Okay. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Please.
Okay. So what do you feel like has led you to this decision?
I just don't think I'm a salesman.
Yeah. So, okay. I get that. Most people don't. There have been a time in my life where I would have said that I wasn't either. What have your inputs been like since you've been here? How many hours on doors? How much time are you spending studying?
Yeah.
You can be super honest because I know you're headed out anyway. So be super honest.
Yeah. I'm going to the gym with my roommates, and we usually listen to like a sales training in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then what are the hours like on doors?
Yeah. I mean, we always kind of like stop at the gas station on the way out to area.
Okay.
And so I'm usually, I'm getting out there as soon as we can. And, and then I work until my car group driver texts me. And so, and and just in between, I'm, doing my best.
Yeah. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being like maximum effort, you can just give me a really honest answer here. Where would you say you rank?
In my effort?
Yeah.
Honestly, probably a 7.
A 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And why do you say a 7? I know you're saying a little slow to get out on the doors. You're not going to tell your manager calls, but why a 7? Why is it not a 10?
I just get down on myself when I don't see success. Like people slamming the doors on their face, lady says she's going to call the cops. It just kind of rattles me. And so I need like a moment to I go to the park and kind of relax for a little bit because I feel like everyone's mad at me and like I'm going to get in trouble. Okay.
Has that gotten better or worse over time? Because I know you said you're headed home. Has it gotten worse?
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of been like that every day. Like I really dread getting on the doors and, getting rejected early. And like I did get into one house 2 days ago, but they wanted to think about it. So I just feel like I'm not good enough to close.
Do you feel like that experience is unique only to you?
No.
Okay. So do you feel like the guys that have done something really good for themselves and grown in the job have experienced something very similar?
Probably.
So what would be the difference between you and them?
Yeah, they just didn't give up.
They just didn't quit.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to come and do this? Why did you start?
We met on campus and, you talked about how much money you can make and that I'd be able to go to school and not have to work.
Yeah.
And so like that idea of being able to go to school next semester and not have a job for the whole year just got me really excited.
Yep. Do you remember what I told you after that? This will be the hardest thing that you ever do?
Yeah.
Has this been the hardest thing you've ever done?
For sure.
So I didn't lie about that.
No.
So you realize the only difference between you and everybody else that has succeeded in the job is they just didn't quit. So my advice to you, because if you quit on this, and you totally can, and you can quit and go home and you might even be justified and your mom will make you a hot meal when you get home and it'll feel good for a minute, but you'll remember that you've quitted forever. And so while I'm telling you, you don't need to do this forever, you committed that you would do this for this summer.
So I want to pause real quick because you said something really powerful.
Yeah.
So I've heard people say like, oh, if you quit at this, you'll quit at everything. Mm-hmm. And I haven't really loved that.
Yeah. I don't know that I love that
But what
either.
you said was different. You said, if you quit at this, you'll remember that you'll quit. That hits different.
Yeah.
That hits like in my soul.
Yeah. Because I know plenty of guys that have quit on the summer and gone on to do like big things. So I think it has a nice ring to it. If you quit at this, you'll quit on other things.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's it, but I've met so many guys that have quit on the summer, and I'll just meet them somewhere afterwards that'll talk about how they regretted it. Like, they wish they would have just sucked it up. And so it is true. Like, don't do this forever, but you looked me in the eye and told me that you would give this maximum effort for 4 months.
Yeah.
You're giving me 7. Imagine if you give me 10, and the skill set that's going to be earned and the accomplishment after, even if you never do it again, the level of confidence that you're seeking is going to be worth way more than any amount of money that ends up in your bank account at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stay forever. Just stay for the time that you committed to.
How much more time should I give this? I haven't sold, it's been 2 weeks. I haven't sold anything.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. How much time I can't do this for 4 months and not sell.
Yeah. No, I agree. If you've been given a 7.
Yep.
And it's given you 0, right?
Yep.
If you give 10, a level 10 effort, and I'm not just talking on doors, you're like, hey, you told me a minute ago, the only training you're really getting is when you're driving out onto doors, right?
Yep.
Can you imagine if any professional athlete, the only reps they got were in the game? They took no BP before practice or after practice. Yeah. What made all the greats great is that they were the first ones to show up and they were the last ones to leave. And so even though I'm not saying, hey, stay forever and be a career guy like I am saying that you're not giving a 10, you're not giving a maximum effort, and you committed before the summer that you would, right? And so I'm saying a 10 effort is that you are getting BP before and after the doors, and you're giving maximum effort on the doors. And what I'm telling you right now is if you give me 2 weeks of maximum effort, then let's you and I sit down and weigh in again and see where you're at. But don't hang it up after these first 2 weeks of sevens. And if you're telling me 7, it's probably more like 4. Let's go 10 for 2 weeks and let's see how you feel. But will you commit 100%? You'll give me 10 for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can do 2 more weeks and give you a 10.
Okay. Let's just go to that point and see where we end up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do one more role play.
Okay.
So I'm one of your top managers and I'm in distress.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Been there.
Summer's not going well.
Yeah.
Right. So I pick up my phone, I call you.
Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Hey, what's up, man? What's
hey,
up,
Kenny, man, I need some help. Like, no one on my team is selling.
Yeah.
A lot of my guys aren't working. Some guys have already gone home. The techs are awful.
Okay.
My techs suck.
Yeah.
Right. I'm having issues with licensing. Right. Housing's on me. Guys aren't getting into their apartments. Like, did I make a mistake managing this year?
So you're asking me if you made a mistake. Are you asking me because you think you made a mistake?
Yeah, I think I made a mistake. Like, I just like, I don't know what to do. I've never dealt with any of this before. Like, I feel like I'm letting all my guys down.
Okay.
Half my office is going to quit. We're not selling. Right. We had these big numbers. We had big expectations.
Okay.
And I just don't know if we're in the right market.
Got it. Okay. So you feel like you just finished that statement with, I don't know if I'm in the right market. Do you feel like the market is the problem?
We're just not selling.
Yeah, I understand that. Why do you think you're not selling? Why is the team not performing?
I don't know. Maybe this market just gets knocked a ton. You know, we're in Texas. Everyone gets knocked here. Like, you know, I think maybe we picked the wrong market.
Okay. So I'm sure you thought through this before you called me. What do you think we should do?
I want to move markets.
Okay. And you think moving markets will solve everything?
Yeah, it's just, we can't not sell. None of my guys are selling. I can't lose more of my office.
Okay. So what happens if we leave you there? We just leave you there and you double down. What do you think will happen to the team?
I think we'll lose everyone.
Okay. Are there some of these guys that probably need to go? Because you said that you're dealing with some problem reps.
Yeah, there's probably a couple guys who shouldn't be out here.
Okay. And why is that? What is their behavior doing?
They have bad attitudes. They're late to meeting. I don't think they're working all the hours.
Do you feel like that those are the bad apples that are ruining the whole bunch? Does it, like, a lot of your issues stem back to those two guys?
Totally.
Okay. If you remove those two guys from the equation, what do you think the rest of the team does?
If we can get spirits high, guys selling, guys excited about the job, I think it'll be helpful. But the belief in the office right now is really low.
It is.
Yeah, really low.
Okay. So, all right. The caution that I would have for you is anytime you leave markets, because it sounds like you have some guys that are pretty discouraged.
Yep.
Oftentimes what I've seen is if you leave the market, a lot of those guys are just going to bail and go home. That if you stay in market, oftentimes those guys will double down, they'll stick it out. There's just this psychological effect as soon as you move an office, right? So while you may lose some guys, you could pick up some morale on the other side, right? But what I might suggest in this situation, Doug, is that if you've got a couple of guys that are maybe making life hard on you, and they're making these problems that are actually kind of small feel really, really big, we probably look to get rid of those two guys by either sending them home or potentially sending them to another office. But what I would prefer is that we put them on probation inside of your own team. Okay. For a lot of reasons that we can talk through. And the second thing is you need to go out and dominate in personal sales. I've been watching the board. I can tell that you're distracted because you're normally one of the top guys in the entire division and you're not. Yeah. And I think that if you can eliminate the excuses that it's an area thing, that the entire team will follow. And what I think needs to happen is that we need to sit down with these couple of guys that are making these problems seem really big, that are probably not that big, and let's isolate those issues and see if we can win their hearts and mind to get them back on board. And while they're the loudest voices in your ear, they probably need to be the loudest voices in the office for change. And if we can do that, that's what we want. If we can't do that, then we'll do what I told you a minute ago, which is either send them somewhere else or just fire them completely. Yeah. Right? If we can't win them over, let's weed them out. And then I think it starts with you leading from the front. And I think it starts with like going back to what made us great. What were the standards you guys set as a team early in the summers, that everybody would start on time, end on time, have a positive attitude, and they'd work the hours, right?
Yep.
And if guys are not doing that, let's get them doing that and just get back to what makes us great. Now, I'd probably have the same approach. Let's give it a couple more weeks. I'd say 2 or 3 more weeks of correcting these behaviors and you being back on your game. And if we're still struggling, but the culture in the office has changed and we're still struggling, then let's take a look at market at that point. But for now, it sounds like more a culture thing than an area thing. Would you agree?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It really goes to one of my core principles in leadership is that your reps will not listen to what you say, but they'll mimic what you do.
Yeah.
So if the leader isn't working, if the leader isn't preparing trainings properly, the leader is on his phone and getting out the doors early, you're giving permission for your whole office to do the same.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No, some of the best reps I ever worked with, I picked up from the worst recruiters in the business. There were guys, because you can bring people in, you can recruit and not be a great sales manager, but they'll always figure you out. Again, It comes back to kind of the 5 levels of leadership. If you're a level 1 leader, it's like, hey, I'm recruiting you because you're my homie, but I can't influence you in any other way. I became a master, and I know you did too, at picking up reps that just wanted somebody to follow because they did all of those things.
That's exactly what happened with me. I got recruited by a level 0, not even a 1, a 0. Just not even a good person.
We won't name names.
We won't name names, but just not a good person. I actually think the dude's in jail, honestly.
Oh, shoot. Right?
Like just not a good person.
Bummer.
And I remember having this weird feeling. I'm like, this opportunity feels right, but the dude doesn't feel right. And then shortly after, he introduced me to Casey Baugh. I meet Casey Baugh and I'm like, this guy gets it. This guy gets it.
Yeah.
I'm hitching my wagon to this guy.
Yeah. And even to this day, you guys are like best friends.
It's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly. And it's because like, yeah, the leadership, and so talk about that real quick, because one thing that is a massive opportunity that I don't feel like a lot of leaders pick up on is the opportunity to recruit in March, April, and May. Right? Talk to us a little bit like that, because the reality is there's going to be guys who are in door to door who sign on to a team or an office and the thing explodes.
Oh yeah.
Thing doesn't work out. Housing's a mess. Company's a mess, whatever. Right? How can one take advantage of recruiting this late in the season?
Wow. So great question. Generally the personality type that does well in door to door is a little ADHD, right? Like
totally.
Just a little all over the place. And any of us would be lying if we said we were thinking. And I told you what was I guilty of early in my career? And I was 26 and I was only thinking with like a 5-year type lens. But these, 19, 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-olds, they don't know what they're doing next week, like let alone next month. And so you don't think that the very best salespeople are always thinking 12 months out. They're not. And so those same people, while maybe you talked to them earlier in the year, they maybe have never even thought about the job. Now, all of a sudden it is getting warm outside, right? Especially here in Utah where we are, like it's going to be really nice. Yeah, beautiful. I was out doing yard work the other night because the sun's
looking
up
at tea times. I'm like, I don't get around.
Yeah, amazing. I'm playing golf with Eric on Friday.
Amazing.
Like, now that it's spring, they're starting to think, hey, I have no plans for the summer. I've got this dead end job lined up. But maybe summer sales isn't so bad. But even though they said no to us later on, like I said no for years. It took Bodie Gardner 4 years to recruit me to come and do the job. And then
he's a persistent one.
Yeah, exactly. And then my little brother went out and he just brought it up. Hey, you should consider it. And I'd been thinking about it for 4 years. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. And so the beauty of recruiting is that people go through seasons in their life, but the seasons happen earlier for these younger kids. So while they're a no early on, plans fall through, minds can change. They can break up with the girlfriend, school is a bust, and they decide they don't want to be in the construction job for 4 months, making $20 an hour. And so I think dust off the Rolodex at this point in the year. Anybody that you have contacted, come up with a system and a process to keep tapping those people over and over again, especially the warm market ones or network ones. I mean, while I decided that I was going to come it was like October after the 2026 season. I was like, I'm coming in 2027. Some of the best people I've ever recruited were recruited in the month of April.
Wow.
Like right before my top rookie in my entire group last year, he decided he was coming out. He wasn't even recruited by the time we went to home opener. After home opener, he was like, I'm in. This is the spot that I want to be. And went and dominated. And he's probably recruited and going to do 1,000 accounts for us this year.
Amazing.
Yeah. April pickup.
Yeah. My best recruit I ever had in my Vivint career, I recruited in April.
Yeah.
He was signed to do a pest control company. I took him to a Vivint event, or he met with Casey.
Who was that?
Topher Dibley.
Topher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Consistent 100 150 count rep.
He's a dog.
Yeah. Great energy in the room. Numbers board guy. One of my best friends. Like so much fun. Some of my best memories. I recruited him maybe 2 weeks before I left.
Wow. Yeah.
And so
I'll tell you another one. This has been crazy. You probably know a lot of the groups that I work with are year round. So that we're obviously we turn it on in the summer, but we're year round. A lot of the best people that work inside of my group right now, we recruited on the doors.
Yes.
Out in market, knocking, meet this sharp 20-year-old kid inside the house. Like, hey, have you ever considered door to door? You should come down to the office and meet some of the guys. And now some of them have been with us. Eduardo Poliz. I mean, the guy's been with us for like 10 years, right? He's probably sold 1,500 personal installs.
Wow.
And I have a long list of those, but I think don't only keep your recruiting goggles on in the off season, like have them on while you're out knocking for the summer.
And especially if you have a hot start.
For sure.
You're texting everyone, hey, you're missing out. I know you said no, but like you got to get out here. Everyone's crushing it. Everyone's give them FOMO.
Exactly.
You can pull FOMO.
For sure.
Guys too.
Yeah. You had those guys on the fence. You go rip a big paycheck. Why not flex a little bit with that? Yeah.
Flex on them.
Exactly.
I'll do one more role play with you.
Yes.
I got some deeper questions for you.
Yeah.
So I'm a average rep.
Okay.
And I'm going to lead the industry.
Okay.
Friends making way more money at a different industry.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the call.
Okay.
Hey, Kenny, I just have to be direct with you. I've loved working with you the last couple of years. I've learned so much from you, but I've decided I'm actually going to switch companies and go to a different industry.
Okay. Can I ask what has been on your mind or what's led to this decision?
I'm just seeing how much my friend's making in a different industry.
Okay.
He's like posting his paychecks and it's like significantly more than I'm making over here.
Okay. Significantly more. So when you like how much exactly, what is he doing exactly? Maybe tell me a little bit more about this person.
He's just working in, let's say, solar.
Okay.
And I guess they make like a couple $1,000s an install.
Yeah.
And so
sometimes
I'm just thinking
more,
like,
sometimes $10,000 per install. Yeah. Depends on where he's at.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking like, I mean, if I'm already out here knocking doors and doing the work, out here in the sun, I might as well, like go make the most I can per deal.
Yeah, you bet. So let me ask you just a couple questions. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Are you open to just kind of let me help you think this through a little bit?
Totally.
Because by the end of this conversation, if you still feel like that's the move, then I'll be totally supportive.
Okay.
But I hear that. I hear what you're saying, but I just want to help you vet this out a little bit. Okay. Have you talked to anybody else besides me and him about this?
No, he's always sending me his paychecks.
Sure.
And it's like, I can't even focus on the doors thinking like, what am I doing out here?
Yeah. And it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would encourage if you were in his shoes, you'd probably be doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now for him, does he lead a team or is he just selling personals?
He's got a couple of guys underneath him, but it's not his office. He's a leader.
Okay. So more of like a sales leader type. How long's he been doing the job?
He switched to solar a year ago.
Okay. So he's been over there for 1 year. And then how long was he working in door to door prior to him going over there?
Maybe like a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing pest control earlier before.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. And then does he live in the market that he works in? Does he just blitz?
He does a blitz model.
Like
they do blitz models. I think it's like 10-20.
Okay.
10 days on, 20 days off.
Gotcha. And then how much money is he making over there? Like these paychecks he's sending you, what do they look like?
He's showing me paychecks for just one install, anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000.
Cool. And how many installs did he do or will he do this year? Did he do last year?
I don't know how many installs, but he said he's closing deals, multiple deals a week.
Yeah. Okay. So this might be my warning for you. Okay. Because, you know what you're capable of here at Vivint, and you and I both know that you've left a lot on the table. Would that be fair feedback for you?
Totally.
That you haven't given this like maximum effort?
Yeah, I know. I know I could be a better recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that the strategy that you're giving me, I would just maybe caution against it, that you can go over there with the same energy that you're giving here and make more money than what you're making here. I think that that's kind of a scary strategy. And I would warn you against it, whether you stay or go. Okay. And so I guess total dollars, we don't know how much money he's making. You just know per paycheck, he's sending you what looks really, really good.
Yeah. He'll text me just out of the blue, just close another 7K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so closing another 7K and getting the $7,000 deal installed are two very different things. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's always going to be trades in this, right? That product offering is very different than what we sell here. The idea that you sell it today and he could get paid in 2 weeks, he could get paid in 2 months, he could get paid never, because about 50% of those those sales will actually get installed. Okay. Let me ask you, what percentage of your deals that you install here at Vivint get installed the same day?
100%.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And sometimes it's not that high, but it's a really, really high percentage. And then you get paid on that account the next week. Yeah. And then you have a back end portion that also gets paid, right?
Yep.
And so what I would probably tell you is that you and I just need a planning session. I don't know that you haven't convinced me that that's a better opportunity. I just think that you are feeling a little uninspired because you know what the opportunity is here, and you just know what, like, the good stuff that you see over there, right? Yeah. I work with a lot of sharp people, right? And a lot of the sharp people that I work with. Do you think that there's a reason that they've been here for 12 years and that they haven't gotten distracted by these other things? Do you think there's a good reason for that?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Why do you think that would be? Because if the opportunity was that much better, do you think top talent probably would have all left to go do it?
Yeah, opportunity is probably better where they're at.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to ask you is, can you and I spend some time right now or later to actually go through your goals and see if this opportunity here at Vivint can help you get there before you make the decision to leave? Will you at least give me that much?
Totally. So cut here.
Yeah.
If you're actually doing this, what would that process look like as far as breaking down the opportunity? What would you do?
So I would just say, okay, let's say that you stay or you leave. What is your financial goal?
Yeah. I want to make $300,000 this year.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to make $300,000 this year.
Yep.
And if we're like right now, right, then we would just take, okay, 300,000. How many personal accounts are you going to sell?
I want to do 250 this year.
Okay, great. So we're going to sell 250 personals. And then how many accounts do you want to recruit, whether you're here or there?
Here, I want to recruit 1,500.
Okay. So you want to recruit 1,500, sell 250. Your 250 is included in the 1,500.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to simply break out a couple pay scales, do the math. That's way more than $300,000, like on a pay scale at Vivint, right?
Yeah.
And same kind of vice versa, regardless of industry. It's that a lot of guys, while he's getting flexed on over here and somebody's making it sound really, really good, like the opportunity is, it's not that it's that much better. It's just different than what they're in right now.
Yeah.
And so it's what I told you earlier. It's the devil that you know is better than the devil you don't. And I have people right now, they're flooding back from certain solar companies. And don't get me wrong, I was heavy participant in solar for years. Love the industry. It was a huge blessing in my life. I'm glad to be out of it, just so that I can focus on one product. So I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's different. And there's warts and scars and things that exist there that also exist inside of Vivint. But it's what we talked about earlier. Do you like the people you work with? Do you love the product that you offer and the company's direction with it? And do you get paid well? And if you do, then just hunker down and stay put, because that if that's the case, and this, you and I are talking, and you have 1,500 accounts worth of guys, I promise you they're not all leaving with you.
Yep.
I promise you there's going to be some big switch costs. And while you know what it takes to sell 250 here and recruit 1,500, you have no idea what it's going to take, because the 250 personals of 1,500 accounts at Vivint is probably between $400,000 and $500,000.
Yep.
And so it's not that crazy to just stay put and do it here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But again, whether it's pests or fiber or whatever you sell, like the person where there is no vision, the people perish. Your ability as a leader to paint a really big picture and put a lot of color on it is what will retain your people to the opportunity that you have. The difference in this example is that this solar guy is just putting different colors. He's just painting a better picture than what we are here at Vivint in this example.
Totally.
Right. If you're not constantly talking about what's in it for your people and having those goal setting sessions and then weighing in and checking the mileposts.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted.
It is. Yeah. And that's really all that this is.
Yeah.
Because you and I both know this reps probably has this income thermostat that as soon as he hits a number, he just like shuts off.
Yep.
And he's just seeing what he thinks is a faster way of getting there so that he can shut off. That's not the answer. The answer is just double down, work harder where you're at, and you're going to have a bigger outcome. It's not, hey, I'm going to leave because it's easier. That strategy doesn't tend to work.
Yeah. Yeah. So good, Kenny. I want to go deep with you here for a sec. So you were at Vivint when I kind of went through my big spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
And people were thinking I was crazy and weird and whatever. And it's been a journey for me.
Yeah.
And just this year, speaking of Casey, a couple of us are going on a trip to Jerusalem.
Awesome.
In October with David Butler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so I really haven't had a relationship with Jesus for 10 years. And so this year I've committed to rebuild that relationship with
That's
Jesus.
Awesome, dude.
And so I'm reading the Bible for the first time in 10 years.
So cool.
I'm going through my grandpa's study about teachings of Christ. I'm watching The Chosen with my mom. She loves it.
So legit. The Chosen has fundamentally changed my relationship with the Savior.
It's so good.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes him a person.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I love the way that he's portrayed. It's like kind of this fun, playful, like that's the Jesus I can get behind.
Yep.
Right. So one thing that I've always respected you about, Kenny, is that you have, in my eyes, just have been a man of God.
Appreciate that.
Right. And I can feel it from you, and you're Christ-like, and I can feel the warmth of your heart. And it's like, I really admire it.
Thank you.
And so, you talked about Tony Robbins, and a business master. He says business is a spiritual game, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious, what impact and what role does God or Christ play in your role at Vivint?
Wow. I think, we all have like spiritual gifts, right? You have spiritual gifts, I have spiritual gifts, and some of them are different. I just believe easily. I kind of always have. I want to believe. I'm playing an eternal game here, right? Like it's one of the reasons that my marriage thrives, and I'm really happy in that, because if I wasn't thinking way out there, that is one part. While in business, I thought too small at first. Spiritually, I've always been playing the eternal game. And I think when I spend time praying, and when I spend time reading my scripture, and I spend time anxiously engaged in good causes, by default, I just want to be better.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be better in business. It actually makes me less cutthroat. It makes me more truthful. I sell more accounts. I'm more upfront with customers. I communicate more clearly. I'm never I tend to not operate in the gray. It helps me desire more and longer lasting and more meaningful relationships. And so I just don't think there's a single spot in my life where I lose leaning harder into Jesus, right? Or into the Spirit, or into, hey, what do I want the eternity to kind of look like? And what do I want to represent? And the more kind of people, like exactly what you're doing, right? Just the fact that you're spending more time around spirituality and trying your relationship, strengthen your relationship with Jesus, it will come really easy. Yeah. It'll come back so fast. If it sounds like you felt like you strayed away from it, but
yeah, it's been a journey for me. I grew up Mormon, left the Mormon faith, and for whatever reason, when I detached from Mormonism, it was almost like my relationship with Jesus went away too.
Wow.
And as I've explored spirituality, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, Jesus fits in my spiritual beliefs. Yeah. Like I believe God, it was so crazy. I found my favorite scripture because I'm reading the Bible. Yeah. I think it's in John 2, whatever it's like. And it says, and this is how I just interpret it. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but he says, Jesus saying, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's my favorite scripture, because the way I'm interpreting that is that God has so much diversity, so many layers of consciousness, so many realms, where it all fits. Mm-hmm. It all fits. And so for me, when I go do these meditation retreats or do ayahuasca or whatever, I'm like, it all fits. Yeah. Like Jesus, I'm like, oh, Jesus fits in my spiritual beliefs. I need to make a seat at the table for him.
That's awesome.
And I haven't
Yeah.
for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so, especially with this trip coming up to Jerusalem, I'm like, I need to figure out who this dude is. Right. So
talk about virtual mentors.
Yeah, truly.
Like that's the virtual mentor. I mean, you won't, there's no dirt. There's no dirt, right?
Yeah.
Lived the perfect life, the perfect example. He had nothing. He had no money at all. And he convinced people to leave everything that they had to come and follow him. And they had the most amazing experiences. And so it's your question was like, how is that kind of reflected in business? It's like, how do you want to be remembered? And at the end of the day, for me, it's like, I want to be remembered as the guy that did it the right way, that leaves a lasting impact, that wasn't one of like lies and deceit and only getting what's good for me. No, I want to meet and deal with people in a way that they're better when they leave. Because now I've been in business long enough that I know that people come and go, and that there's no one person that's not replaceable, including me. Yeah. And that's why when people call me and they're like, "Hey, I think I'm out," I actually have very little fear of loss, because I'm like, this might be it. Some people do have a shelf life. This might be your time to move on and try something else. And you know what? I think that's okay. And I applaud you for being brave enough to say it. But I'm also going to vet it out and make sure and cut through the BS to make sure that really is the case, right? But having a spiritual lens on, so that you can not act and behave in a selfish way, but it's like, hey, no, I really genuinely care about you as a person, like the Savior did. And I want for you to realize your full potential. And maybe you can do that somewhere else. Or maybe you've just sold yourself short here and you need to double down here.
Right? And one thing that's admire you so much about Kenny is that your reputation just in the industry is really strong, and everyone knows that Kenny works in integrity.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very clear.
Really hard. Yeah.
And this industry can get really weird, and there can be a lot of bad blood, and there can be a lot of but you've maintained a really strong reputation because you work from that kind of heart-centered leadership, with God and being Christ-like. And so it's just something I've always admired about you and respected you. And you're living it, and it's just really cool to see.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope I can always be worthy of that. There's times where it would have been easy to not, and there's times where it felt like in that moment it was costing me an opportunity, because I just wasn't willing to say a thing to get a recruit or have a certain situation happen. I just wasn't willing to do that, to bend my morals to do it. And in the moment, it felt like it cost me. Yeah. But now here I am 20 years later, and you saying stuff like that to me, like, I'm like, no, it actually earned me. It didn't, I earned something else. Totally. The blessing came in a different way. It wasn't what I thought it would be in that moment, but later it paid a dividend. Yeah. So it means a lot. I really appreciate it.
It's so inspiring. Maybe I'll just get really vulnerable with here. As I'm trying to build this relationship with Jesus. So where I'm at now. Yeah. I'm not at the point where I'm like, did Jesus die for my sins? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not there yet. Okay. I am at the point where I'm like, oh, Jesus was an enlightened master. Like truly, I'm speaking truth, man of God, like really enlightened, ascended master. And so as I go into this, I'm like on this journey of rebuilding a relationship with Jesus. What advice would you have for someone like me?
Yeah. So I think I already said some of it, but do you mind? Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Where do you want for this to take you?
I want to get to a place where Jesus is someone who I can rely on, have as a resource to enrich my life spiritually.
Gotcha.
Almost guide me, help me, like, so I can be guided by Jesus. I can have him I have some other spiritual guides that I rely on, like my grandpa, my dad, right? I feel like they definitely make an impact in my life. Yeah. I feel like I've been guided by we talked about, I'm Swiss, right? Yes. Because you live up in Heber, and my great-great-grandpa, his name's Arnold. He was my Swiss ancestor who came to Utah and settled up there. So cool. Right? So Arnold. I feel so called there. My grandpa Arnold. And so I feel like he helps me in my life. Yeah. Like he'll guide me, and so I would love to have Jesus be someone like that in my life.
So, and I know you're planning on going to Jerusalem. Yep. I know you're reading your Bible. Yep. What other means do you have where you're trying to like accomplish that? Is like prayer a thing for you?
Yep. So I pray. and I've included Jesus in my prayers.
Yep.
I also have this study guide from my grandpa about Jesus. My mom's really excited about this journey for me, of course.
Yeah.
Right. And so she's stoked, right?
So stoked. The prodigal son.
Yeah.
Returns.
I'm watching Chosen with her.
Love that.
And then I've got,
you said that.
Yeah, Chosen's so good. And then I've got kind of like a men's group of guys, Casey's in there, where we go to Casey's sauna and we meet every other week and we just catch up as brothers.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang awesome.
It's amazing.
The cold plunge, the sauna.
Yeah. And there's a couple of guys in that group who have really strong relationships with Jesus.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to talk to them and be like, hey, tell me about this, right? What's going on here, And so I've got a pretty strong support system.
Yeah. No, look, you're checking a ton of boxes. Like, and I told you my strategy to keep a close relationship with the Savior is to just be mindful of it. And the way that you're mindful of it for me is if I pray daily, if I'm kind of saying his name daily, if I'm reading, like right now, I'm about to polish off Jesus the Christ. If you've ever,
that's a book, right?
Yeah, it's a book. It's it's the longest novel. It's the longest book that I've ever read. It's close to 800 pages.
Yeah.
I think I'm a couple pages. I tried last night. I was just too tired to finish. But if I'm reading and studying, and it's almost like goal setting, right? Like if I'm setting goals and I'm reviewing them daily or weekly, I tend to accomplish them. If I'm working to strengthen my relationship with my wife or my kids or my Savior, if it's something that I work on daily, it automatically gets stronger because I'm more aware. Like how often do you and I meet people where it's like, hey, I want to be healthy and fit and I want to have a strong relationship with my wife. And then they go home and they doom scroll. Like Netflix, when they know they should
order Uber Eats.
Yeah, dude. So it's not that complicated. Like your plan is robust. Like way more. It's easy to say I want to strengthen my relationship with Jesus and then do nothing.
Yep.
And I think as long as you're doing something to raise awareness and to take action, you're making all the right moves.
Cool.
I'm happy for you. I think when you and I talk a year from now, I think you're gonna. And I can feel it from you that you're in a way better spot than maybe even the last time we talked.
Yeah.
Not that you've ever given me bad vibes, but I'm like feeling the spirit.
I feel the most spiritually strong I've ever felt in my whole life.
That's amazing.
And I think that's part of that is because, I'm really deep into Buddhism. I've really studied Buddhism for the last 2 years. I would claim if someone asked me if I had to label myself, I would say Buddhist. I had to.
Wow. Good.
So I've really studied Michael Singer's work. I've really studied Ram Dass. And as I've just expanded my spirituality, I'm like, Christianity is the largest religion in the world, right? There's something here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I need to figure out who Jesus is.
Yeah.
And I need to make a spot for him on my table.
Look, I think it's all good. The reality is like, doesn't make you better. Does it make you better, a better human, a better, brother, spouse, like, does it make you better? Good. Lean into that.
I just got the craziest flashback I have to share because that question, does it make you better, is so good. So I'll never forget. This was like 2012, 13.
Okay.
And I go on a date with this girl.
Yeah.
I'm like 23 years old. And it's like total fireworks. Everything's amazing. Blah, blah, blah. We're dating for a couple of weeks.
Sure.
And then it was like, we're in love, honeymoon phase. And we're just young, stupid kids. And this is just a funny story. And one night we were at my house and we're making out. And she leans up and she looks at me and she goes, should we get married? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, of course, we're in love, And so there was a couple of days where I'm all excited and I'm fired up and all excited. And I remember I called Casey.
Yeah.
And like, Siba, I met the love of my life. We're getting married, blah, blah, blah. I've known her for 2 weeks, just something stupid, right? Yeah. But it kind of aligns in the Utah culture. And then Casey asked me that question. He goes, does she make you better? And I remember being like, oh shit. This girl does not make me better.
She does not.
She actually kind of makes me worse.
What?
She kind of makes me worse.
Gut check, yeah.
And so I got off the phone with Casey and the next day I broke up with her.
Yeah.
I'm like, this girl doesn't make me better.
Yeah.
And so I broke up with her and we never talked again.
Wow.
And
do you feel like today you dodged a bullet?
1,000%.
Okay.
Well, here's what's crazy because this was like in February, March or something. And then I went up for summer out to Houston. And before I got home from summer, she was already married to someone else.
Not engaged, but married.
Had the done.
Yeah.
Married. I'm like, wow. Like I'm dodging.
She was ready, you were not.
But I love that question. Like, does this make me better?
Yeah. Doesn't make you better. Doesn't make you feel more inspired.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that those are really, really good measuring sticks.
Yeah.
That's wild that is literally all it took was like, hey, does it check this one box? Nope. It's a non-negotiable. Then it's a non-negotiable. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah. Man, that's such a good question. I got to go back to. It's so good. And I'm like, does studying Jesus right now in my life, and I wouldn't claim to be a Christian right now, but does studying Jesus make me better? And I'm like, yeah, it does.
Awesome.
It does.
Keep going.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's such a great reminder. Thank you for reminding me that. Well, Kenny, as we wrap up here, we're kind of going a little over time here. I could talk to you forever.
Yeah, this is fun.
You talked about you're having the most fun you've ever had, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to know, what are you most fired up, most excited about for 2026?
Last year was a little bit of a rebuilding year, like for my group, right? We grew 106% year over year. We like knocked it out of the park. But this is going to be the first full year that we're not reeling from, hey, we're going to not offer these two products anymore. We're only going to focus on the one.
Just smart home.
Yeah. And so there was a ton of turmoil around that, kind of like weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth when that happened. And some of our guys were not happy about it for an entire year. And now this is a year where it's like, no, we just get to focus on what we're world class at. Our teams are freaking dialed. We're up year over year. Absolutely crushing. On top of that, like life's just really good. I'm 45 years old. I'll be turning 46 this year, but I feel like I'm in really, really good health. My family's in really good health. My 19-year-old son was just married.
No way.
Married.
Your
moved
son's
to St.
married?
George. Yeah.
What? Yeah. In my head, he's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and he's down south. He works in a little business that we own, and he's doing really well. My girls are 16 and 13.
Wow.
And they're amazing people, like all of them. And so I'm just in this kind of stage in my life where it feels like I'm hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So while business is really good, my marriage is amazing. We have like these phenomenal travel plans that are set up financially. We've been really, really smart for 20 years to put ourselves in this spot where like we're good. Like even if Vivint went away or something happened, I'd be good. I'm set. I'm good forever. And so to be able to look back and say, hey, we made all these sacrifices of time and money to get to this season of our life where we can just not relax. Like I'm pedal to the metal.
Reap.
But yeah, we're just reaping. This is the reaping season, and I'm having so much fun with it, where it's what I said before. Like I'm giving real advice. I'm able to mentor in a different way than I ever have before, because I literally have no fear of loss. No loss of talent could shake me. And I think having that, it doesn't mean I let people go. It actually means I attract people more easily.
Totally.
You know, and that's one of the things that has been so attractive about like people like you and with Casey and Mendez is this abundance mentality of, hey, there is plenty for everyone. And I'm truly in a season of that in my life right now. And I don't know how to help anyone get there other than to talk about it and tell you what's worked for me, because while it's an easy thing to say, when you arrive here, you're like, oh, this is what people talk about.
Better than I thought.
This is it. Yeah. So in a way, while we've never arrived, there is no finish line. I kind of feel like I'm in a really sweet spot, not at the finish line, not at all. I'm good, but I'm in a good spot, and it feels good to be here. And it's what I always hoped this could turn into for me. So
inspired by you, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I appreciate our friendship over the years.
Yeah, same.
And it's been really fun to step out and then to watch from the sidelines, watch you just grow and expand and dominate. And again, so many of my Alchemy members or work in your region. And they just
great guys.
Rave about.
And they love you. Thanks for helping those guys level up.
Yeah.
They have really, really good things to say.
Yeah. Likewise. Just for you. Just so many people just look up to you so well. So excited to watch this summer for you.
Thanks, man.
I'm so excited to help you guys.
Keep you posted.
And I'm fired up. And let's do a little reunion in a couple of months. I'll give you my Jesus update.
Absolutely. Please.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Doug.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.